Meanwhile, in a move to shift towards a greener future, the European Parliament gave its final approval to a ban on new sales of carbon-emitting petrol and diesel cars by 2035, with a view to getting them off the continent's roads by mid-century.
We move to the final vote on the report by Mr. Jan Houtema on CO2 emission standards for cars and vans. Vote is closed and it is adopted, and thereby the first reading of Parliament is closed. Thank you.
Now, the landmark rule will require that by 2035, car makers must achieve a 100% cut in carbon dioxide emissions from new cars sold, which would make it impossible to sell new fossil fuel-powered vehicles in the 27-country bloc. The new law will also set a 55% cut in CO2 emissions for new cars sold from 2030 versus 2021 levels, much higher than the existing target of a 37.5%. But some countries are pushing back against the change. According to Italy's industry minister, Italy wants to team up with France and Germany to influence and slow the pace of European Union laws on cutting car and truck emissions. Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni's right-wing government has already come out strongly against the bloc's decision, as Italy is home to big car brands like Alfa Romeo and Ferrari. They're heavily reliant on combustion engine vehicles, where around 270,000 people are directly or indirectly employed by the automotive industry in the country. Moreover, Italian Minister for Transport Matteo Salvini has called the new law economic suicide for the EU. He said it was an ideological fundamentalism that would only benefit China and harm the European car industry. The country's foreign minister has also sought to water down the legislation, calling for a 90% reduction in carbon emissions rather than 100%. While others warn that neither Europe's industry nor the general public are ready for such a dramatic shift. In addition to that, the European People's Party group, a centre-right political group in the European Parliament, says that the law could lead to people driving older combustion engine cars after new sales are banned because they cannot afford an electric replacement. The German MEP of the European People's Party argues the claims surrounding electric cars being a cheaper alternative, and they have been rendered null and void by the soaring cost of energy opponents. The legislation also says that car batteries are being produced abroad rather than in the EU. Now, air pollution has been associated with traffic pollution and stubble burning. However, air pollution produced by the wear of vehicle tires are generally overlooked. According to a study from the Imperial College of London, the particles that are produced from worn-out tires are especially damaging due to the toxic chemicals they are made from. These small particles separate from tires as cars travel. They become airborne and can be inhaled deep into the lungs. So much so that a study shows a specific chemical used in tires. It has been linked to salmon deaths in the United States of America. On the other hand, larger particles of tire wear are washed or blown into rivers and seas, and they are a significant component of the plastic pollution. The UK government data shows significantly that more tiny pollution particles come from tire erosion than are emitted from vehicle exhausts. The report estimates that 52% of all the small particle pollution from road transport came from tire and brake wear in 2021, plus a further 24% from abrasion of roads and their paint markings. Just 15% of the emissions came from the exhaust of cars and further 10% from the exhaust of vans and HGVs. Now, to find solutions, trials of new types of tires sponsored by Transport for London have found that they could result in up to 35% less emissions. The European Union is also due to regulate tyre emissions in a world first, with new standards due to be enforced by mid-2025. The Imperial team urged policymakers and scientists to embark on research on tyre wear, including solutions such as better tyre devices that could capture particles and ways to incentivize public transport.